Hello, my future students. Keeping the promise I made in my last post, I'm giving you a sneak peek at what actually happened in that class. And here you can see the mirror board. It is divided into 3 parts. The first part is for homework mistakes. In many cases, students can check their mistakes themselves with the keys. There was just one mistake that I wanted to discuss with them, the usage of the present perfect and past simple and the differences in meanings that might arise as a result. As part of their homework, students had done this listening exercise. This dialogue was taken from an update meeting. As you see, there are phrases marked in different colors, and before our class I had underlined them and asked the students to put them into different categories. Those phrases which were used to ask for updates, to give updates, or to delegate tasks. As the students were completing this task, they were revising the key phrases and preparing themselves for their communicative assignments. Afterwards, the students retold the contents of the meeting close to the text, and we moved on to the next task. As part of their homework, they had watched another example of an update meeting. Before the class, I had prepared this short exercise. I had copied out some key expressions from the video and asked the students to fill in the gaps in them to restore the way they sounded. For example, shall we start an update, everyone? And the students had to fill in, shall we start with an update from everyone? So then the students retold everything that was said in the meeting, what it was about, what points were discussed, what updates were provided, what action points were decided on. After we did it, we moved on to the first practical exercise in which the students were asked to role play a situation. They were asked to imagine themselves as employees of a company who were expecting business students as visitors, and they had to make all the necessary arrangements for the visit. As the students were speaking, I was giving a record of the mistakes they were making here, and later I got them to correct the mistakes. After this part, we moved on to another communicative exercise. This one was a bit more complex. It was also an update meeting. In this task, they had to interview each other on the projects they were working on, to provide and ask for updates, as well as delegate some tasks. And again, as they were speaking, I was keeping a record of their mistakes. Then we moved on to the grammar part. In the previous class, I had noticed them making some mistakes in questions with prepositions. So I decided to brush up on this topic, and this is how we did it. I wrote these sentences in red, and the students were supposed to correct the questions by putting them in the right order. I didn't explain any rules. In fact, the students recalled the rules themselves. I just asked them to put the first question right, from where you are. And it was obvious to them that the right variant was, where are you from? Then I asked them to make corrections to the other questions by analogy with the first one, and they did it successfully. So they came up with the right versions of who is the meeting led by, what is the meeting for, what are you interested in, what are you satisfied with. Sorry, I skipped this. What kind of music do you listen to would be right. What are you afraid of, and others. In this class, I decided to focus more on developing their speaking skills because the focus of the previous class was on grammar, and you can see it here. So we moved on to the next video. It was 6 secrets of effective meetings. Before the class, I had prepared key expressions from the video and arranged them by sections. As you see, there are spaces between each of these sections, and the students had to look through these expressions and retell a respective part of the video using these phrases. Of course, we didn't have time to go through all of this. We stopped at number 3. But as you see, the lesson provided them with sufficient speaking practice. Besides, I forgot to mention that when the students were asking for and providing updates. They had a perfect opportunity to practice the present perfect. If this video has inspired you to join in and try a class, please feel free to contact me. I'll test your English and help you to decide on the right course at Move.